The AICC meet culminated just about 15 minutes ago, but top leaders of the Congress continue to speak to headlines today. I'd like to hand it over to our editor-at-large, Rahul Gandhi.
Thank you very much. We've got Shankar Aiyar, in some senses the man of the day, because he was earlier being pilloried by the BJP for his chaiwala comment against Modi, and now getting a standing ovation in some senses from Rahul Gandhi. You must be a thrilled man, sir.
I'm less thrilled about hearing myself praised than about the fact that since I'm an atheist, I don't believe in reincarnation. But listening to this speech, I had to start doubting myself. For in the voice of Rahul Gandhi, I heard the thoughts of Rajiv. Almost everything he said of fundamental significance, not the gas cylinders, but all the idea of India, the need for preserving our diversity to keep our unity together, the importance of secularism, the necessity of democratization, the necessity of giving power to the people. All these are the words I heard from Rajiv between 1985, for I was present at his historic centenary address, till his sudden death in May of 1991.
Now there are two ways of looking at it. The more uncharitable is, Rajiv said it in 1985, and in 2014, Rahul is still having to say the same things, because while you've been in power for most of that period, you still haven't been able to achieve what Rajiv set out to.
Yeah, but I think at that time, one of the things that Narasimha Rao said, which made a big impression on me, was that we have now decided the leadership of our party and government for the next 25 years. It is going to be cut short in 6. And in the years that have come, while Rajiv's ideas have remained bubbling, they have not been in the mainstream of Congress thinking or Congress governance. From what he said, I think that break, which ended in 6 years instead of 25, within the next 19 years and perhaps within the next 19 months, we'll be able to see it realized, because unlike in Rajiv's time, when we didn't fully understand the processes of devolution, we now do, and all that it requires is a firm hand to tell the secretaries to the Government of India to get on with what is called activity mapping.
You've been personally...
And you'll find a huge transformation.
So for you personally, you've been on the sidelines, frankly, of the Congress party for the longest time, and a certain amount of angst and frustration naturally building up as a consequence of that. Rahul's mention today in this big speech, at some level, is it a validation of what you've been trying to do for a long time and have been ignored and not given a chance to? Because your critics dismiss you as a loose cannon, but this loose cannon got praised by RG today.
But it is also true of the same lot that you've been talking about, that I became India's first Panchayat Raj minister. And although I was kicked out of several other collateral jobs, I remained the Panchayat Raj minister for 5 years. All the 5 years. It's my fault that I lost the election. And after that, I've been the chairman of an expert committee on Panchayat Raj. I've been the chairman of an ex-Prime Minister's group on disarmament, which was another important subject for Rajiv. And I am today a chairman with cabinet rank of a committee for coordinating the zonal cultural centre.
Would you not say, sir, at the end of would you say at the end of the day, your comment about Narendra Modi being a chaiwala worthy only of selling tea outside the AICC session is a downright unacceptable comment? So that's not in a healthy democracy, going down to such a level, Mr. Aiyar, is not okay.
Such a comment is not acceptable if it is stated boldly. I didn't state it boldly. I have nothing against a chaiwala who knows history, who knows that Alexander didn't come to Patliputra, who knows that Takshila is in Pakistan and Nalanda is in India, who knows the name of the founder of his own party. The man doesn't even know that. He thinks it's Krishna Shyam, who died 50 years before.
Swapan Das Gupta has started an online Twitter movement saying that St. Stephen should disown Shankar Aiyar as an alumni.
I think we have long disowned Swapan Das Gupta as an alumni. I certainly do not feel proud of having belonged to the same college. I really think his place was Hansraj.
As a fight, that's another ask. Isn't that the sort of elitism that Kejriwal stands against? Come on.
It shows that Rahul Kamal doesn't have a sense of humor.
But Ajay Markan didn't take it kindly. It depends on who's taking it kindly or not, Mr. Aiyar.
I'm afraid Ajay Markan did not have the advantage of an education that teaches one a sense of humor. If Ajay had said something like this about me, do you think the Stephanians would have started a movement to go and march on Hansraj College? We are taught in St. Stephen's to laugh at ourselves, to giggle at ourselves.
Doesn't it reek also of an elitist mentality?
It doesn't at all. If I laugh at myself...
You're laughing at the expense of others. You're not laughing at yourself when you say this.
When I say about chaiwala, if he puts it in context, that I have no objection to a chaiwala who knows more history, knows more economics, knows more of the constitution and knows more of the law than Modi does as the Prime Minister of India. What's the problem? It was you who a little while ago asked me a totally elitist question.
Which is what?
You asked me whether Rahul Gandhi is more educated than Modi. Is that not elitist? Just because
No, I said more experience. I said experience, Mr. Aiyar. You can't get me into this trap because you said I spoke about his level of experience. As a fiery public speaker yourself, how impressed are you with Rahul's speech today? Is this his best speech you've heard?
Well, I have to confess that I am an atheist and don't believe in reincarnation. But today, I had to rethink my atheism.
No, you said this, but I'm saying, is it the best speech he's made from what you've heard?
Yes. I think until today, his best speech was when he became vice president.
No, but why, where was this fire, this passion, this hunger, all this while? It almost seems as if he was a completely different Rahul Gandhi was speaking to people today.
I'm afraid I am not in his inner circle, so I haven't been
what's your sense?
Where he's spoken. Well, today I've listened to him. I listened to him in Jaipur about a year ago, and on both occasions I've been deeply impressed.
But is there a difference in speaking to the converted? He's speaking here to his people. When he's speaking to people who aren't converted, the voters, then he's not able to engage as effectively as he is when he's speaking to his own?
Perhaps you could invite me, since he's not inviting me.
Now that you're back in his good books, he might invite you as well, Mr. Aiyar.
Who knows?
No, but what do you want to tell the BJP? Because they've got there's a social media Twitter handle going T-Boy Storm. Modi being the storm, and you're being, pilloried by Modi's army, and they're actually seeking an apology from you.
I take that as a high compliment that they actually recognize my existence. I know that when I removed that plaque in the Andaman Islands and put in the name of Mahatma Gandhi as the leader of our freedom movement, I couldn't go to Bombay because they and their Shiv Sena friends, they were attacking me so hard that I had to have police cover of 400. You think I'm frightened of these chaps?
Is it too late now for Rahul to try and revive the Congress given how bad things are currently?
I'm not at all sure they're bad.
You saw what happened in the assembly election. That gives you an indication of how bad things are.
Not at all. Again, let me teach you history, since your level of history seems to be that
worse than Modi's.
Of Modi's.
Rahul's, okay, you're saying of Rahul's. Okay.
No, I was going to...
I take that.
Of Modi's. Okay. It is that in 1998, we won all these assembly seats and lost the general election.
Sure.
In 2003, they won many of these places and got so self-confident that Vajpayee in January of 2004 decided to bring forward his elections by 6 months because he thought he'd win. They got trammed. In 2008, we lost these states, and therefore Advani started talking about how he was the Iron Man and the Prime Minister was a weak man, and he got trammed. So they should be crying over the fact that they won in 2013 because it indicates clearly that they're going to lose in 2014.
That's the most optimist of Shankar Aiyar, the speechwriter, because clearly either you're living in a bubble of your own or Rahul's at least definitely not in that bubble because he seems to have come out of that zone. He's now far more aggressive. Earlier, all his solutions were 25, 30-year structural solutions. Now he's more about here and now.
His replies have always had two angles to it. There is a long-term vision within which there are short-term steps to be taken. And I have seen nothing that he said today that contradicts anything I've heard him say, but I've only heard him in closed circles, as you call it, over the last 12 months. It is an expansion of ideas that were being sown in the minds of the Congress at that time. And I see that the flowering of these ideas has been magnificently done.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Shankar Aiyar, for joining us on what's been an up and down day for you today.
It's been a purely up day. The downs are all for headlines today.
Okay, Shankar Aiyar at his irrepressible best. Do what you can, you can't put the man down.